Doug.
Hi YouTubers, Michael here, VK3HAU, just posting a video update on things that have been going on around home. As some of you may know, it's our summer here in Australia and we've been getting some quite hot days in the 40s. It was a couple of weeks ago we got a 46 degree centigrade day. I don't know, I think that I could be wrong, but I think that's about 118 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not an imperial person, so I don't know exactly what that would be in imperial, but I know it's bloody hot. We had a bushfire start in January, just out of Rosedale. It was west-south of Rosedale. Sorry, not west-south, east-south. But it was called the Rosedale West Fire. But in fact, the real name of it was Rosedale West Boundary Track Fire. And the media got it wrong, and they said it was the west. It was west of Rosedale, but it's not. It was east-south direction of Rosedale. And it started off as a small fire. I got paged to it, jumped on the fire tanker. It was make tankers 10, so we knew it was a big fire. When we got there, it was huge. And by the end of the night, it was like near 12,000 hectares in size. And it was we knew it was going to be a big campaign to get this fire under control. We went back, we had a crew take over our tanker, and we went home, had some sleep, and then come back the next morning and went back onto the tanker. It was, second day was just trying to control the fire from jumping across the Rosedale Longford road, and knocked some trees over and wet the road surfaces area, grass area and all that down, and try and put out some smouldering logs and try and mitigate the road again so it could be used again, because the road was closed to the public. But that fire went on for months. It's still burning to this day actually, and it's now been over a month, and that fire is still going. It's not anywhere near as bad as what it's what they the state they've called it is contained and controlled. So basically it's just, they're just keeping an eye on it. It's not going to do anything. It's not going to take off or anything like that. Most of the area's burnt out, and it got into pine plantation. There's like a paper mill that has pine trees. It burnt about 2,500 hectares of pine plantation at $20 million or some ridiculous amount of money. And it threw up a lot of ash and a lot of soot and a lot of smoke. And at home here, the fire got as close as about 8 kilometres to where I live. And the roof of my place, because we're on tank water here, the roof of my place, my shed, was covered in soot and fine particles and ash and burnt leaves and all that sort of stuff. And so we disconnected our water tanks because that's the only source of water we've got. And if you get that into your water, into your tanks, it contaminates it, and then you've just got to flush it all out, treat your tanks, and put fresh water back in. You'd have to get it trucked in. And so I was quick enough to disconnect all the water tanks before we had some rain come. And so in this video I'll show you we had 2 lots of rains before I do a video. The first lot of rain that we had, the water was coming out of the pipe inspection holes black. It was just completely black. And then the second time we had a bit of rain, which was about another 12 mil. I don't know what that is in inches, but yeah, 12 millimeters of rain. It was still coming out like a tea colour, like cup of tea colour. And I actually got a video of that, and I'll show you that. And then the next time we had another lot of rain, which was about 4 or 5 days later, we had 50 millimeters of rain, so it was quite a lot of rain. It was enough to flush it all out, and I quickly put the caps on. I had to rush home from work, and I'll show you the video of the water coming down on the road. I was driving in my car, and you can see the water hitting the windscreen, and then I'll show you I had a flood in my shed. So I'll show you a bit of that video, and I'll show you the clean water coming out of the downpipes, so into the tanks. So I know this video might be a bit long for you, but have a look and see what you think. Thank you. I've got my caps on. Man, it sounds like there's water running.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, listen to it come down. It's beautiful. Nice. Clean rain. I'm a little bit wet, but have a listen to that. Shed's a bit damp though. A bit damp over here. And in the next bay over, it's actually flooded. I can't even get into the next bay over. So, but I love it. Rain, finally. Can you tell I'm happy?